Hey guys, how are you? I feel so close to this. Hello. Hi, Angelina, my people again. Welcome to the show, you guys. Our first time. We're gonna be live very early today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Drum roll. Drum roll. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. We are live. Welcome to the show. Now, I better see all of you guys on this live because you guys all asked me to go live early. And here I am. Here I am. Here I am. Right. All right. You guys, y'all ready? It's our first day. One person watching. Who's watching? Type in the comment section. Happy Sunday, y'all. I beg ya if put to the green, my teeth are sorry. Oh my gosh. Y'all hold on. I'm trying to get off camera. There's something in my teeth. All right, I'm okay. There was something in my teeth. I just had I just had lunch, you guys, with the family. We have potato grain for our Sunday. Is it Sunday brunch or Sunday lunch? Whatever you want to call it. Yeah, hello, Liberian people. Where at? You didn't say what's up. Don't laugh at me. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Let's see what's going on with this.
Like you muted me or something happened.
Oh, I can hear you now.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing good.
I was only up being silly. I said I just ate my potato green right. I hope it's not in my teeth.
Oh,
Welcome to
God.
the new time.
Thank you. Yeah, this new time is somehow
I hope
maybe
it's
we'll.
okay.
Oh well, it's once it's okay for the group, we will make time available
Oh,
when we are extremely,
I
capacitated.
know. It's hard for me because I have the little ones, have to get them somewhere so I don't get distracted. But we'll see. It's adjustable. We'll figure it out. If it doesn't work, we might try to figure something else out. Um, but
Exactly,
everybody's
because
been
right now,
asking.
where I live, right now it
Uh-huh.
is it's around 1 o'clock.
Oh,
It's around
oh
1:10.
wow.
And on your side it's around 3, right?
Yeah,
So
it's
we are
3 things.
2 hours different. I live in the west coast.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
You
Whoop.
guys are in the east. So
Yeah.
so the
Hmm.
time difference is there.
Yeah, that is early for you.
Yeah.
Oh man. We'll see how this go.
Yeah, it's okay. I think maybe since you are including a lot of people on Sunday, yes, we can try to do that on Sunday. But
Yes.
right now,
Maybe.
day will be challenging.
Right. Saturday might be hard. Even I'm thinking about Saturday. I'm like, Because that's the only day I have off to run around. So I have to like
Yeah.
wake up extra early.
So
Oh man, but they've been asking me, can we do it early? Can we do it early? Can we do it early? We'll see how this goes, but it's worth a
they have
try.
to come down. They request for early, so we need to see them early.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody needs to be here. If not, we're changing the show back to the original time. I had to drop everything and ran back in here to make sure I'm here on time. But yeah,
Um,
welcome to the show. Happy Sunday. How was your week?
yes, it's okay. Yeah, my week was very fine. I can say
Nice,
that for sure.
nice.
Because now that I'm not taking, I think they are falling into place gradually for me. I think that was okay.
That's good.
And so I'm just grateful that I'm here. And a little
Yeah.
time we have not spoken, we have not met on this show.
Right.
So I say, well, what is happening? I try to make time when I come on board. I will see that the show is over.
Oh,
I said, oh my God. It was Dawn who told me, oh, the time has changed. The schedule changed. I said, oh my God. I didn't know.
I know I should have put it in the group there. Oh
Yeah.
man, but I think we discussed it on here and I forgot to put it in the group. But today actually is when we're starting it. Yesterday, I'm trying to get it where we just have 1 hour because what I'm noticing, because Facebook send you how many people watch for how long, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
So if
Sure.
we make it too long, we don't really get the audience to watch. Like they just watch a little bit and drop it. So we want them to get the entire content. So that's why I'm like, maybe we should try to limit it to maybe an hour and a half the most instead of 2 hours, you know, so that way we can grasp people attention. But it depends on the topic as well. You know, if the topic is good, we can keep it going. You know, some people would listen. Like for me,
Mm-hmm.
my week, it was a crazy week. Oh my goodness. I'm just happy it was the weekend to refresh and start new. So at my hospital, oh my God. So the HVAC system messed up. So we couldn't have any surgery on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. So I manage that entire department area when it comes to getting things in order, right? And we had an extension to our urgent care over there as well. So I was trying to run 5 places at the same time. And apparently I had already had a meeting early in the morning, like 6:45. We had a game plan, what was gonna happen, because once engineer gets it fixed, we know what we're gonna do. We'll do like terminal cleaning for the entire department, right? I already spoke to the people who do cleaning. Everything was set. But because I was so busy, I did not send my communication to, the head people that I needed to communicate with. But I already knew like, okay, somebody else is going to like admins is gonna send that instead of it coming from me and let me go help the urgent care. I almost lost my job.
Oh my God.
I'm laughing here, but it's crazy. Because the hospital system that I work for, that particular one is the one who generates the most money. Like people spend thousands of dollars to get surgeries. So the surgeries all got canceled, and I needed to make sure everybody is aware. I mean, we already had a team meeting, everybody was aware, but the president was not aware, in which I was expecting the head person to send that email, but didn't because I was helping at another location. I mean, in a blink of 10 minutes. 10 minutes, Peterson. That's why I said this past week was the worst week in my entire career. In 10 minutes. 10 minutes of me being in the urgent care trying to coordinate stuff. And the entire hospital is like, Felicia, where is Felicia? Where is Felicia?
Mm.
I was crying. After I settled everything, I was crying. Like I went to the bathroom, I was crying. I was like, and they're like, we can't find you. They're like, your boss is calling. Nobody know where you're at. Are you aware about what's happening or like? And I'm like, huh? What?
Mm.
I'm like, yes, I've been here since 6. We've already had a huddle. Everything's all set. We got a plan. We're waiting for engineer to let us know what's gonna happen next. They're like, did you tell the head person that needs to know? I'm like, the administrative person is supposed to send this communication. Oh, did you make sure she sent it? I was like,
Mm.
all I'm gonna say is I survived. But when I finally spoke to him, he I kind of calmed down a little bit because he said, I was aware, but I needed a communication with you. And you failed to do that. I mean, I felt so bad.
Mm.
I almost lost my job this week, but God is in control. But he said you weren't going to lose your job. It's just this is a learning experience. It shouldn't happen again.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
to be honest, is this week Thursday is when I realized how important my role was. To be honest, even though I knew it was important, but I didn't know. I didn't know it was to that degree of level. I was like, huh? What? I was helping. And then my mentor called me and said, it doesn't matter if you were assisting another department. You have to communicate. You have to have your phone at all times. I'm like, I had my phone. I was trying to make sure a sharp containers, everything was all set and ready for this new urgent care. But it was crazy. But anyways, long story short, I still have a job.
Thank God. That's
Yeah, and
okay.
I
Thank God.
learned. I learned
That's
from
a
the experience.
that's a
I
great
learned
learning
from the
curve.
experience. Huh?
I can see that. That's a serious learning curve.
It is.
And
It will not repeat again. I promise you, it will not repeat again. Now I know. Even the
even
sky is
though
falling.
even though the administrator should have done that communication immediately as they received from
Right.
you. But again, that was the question that person asked. Did you make sure that the administrator did the communication? So I
My,
think
I mean, it was so many things happening that day because we had condensation issues in the building. There was like a whole lot happening. They couldn't do surgery, and that's like where the money comes from. People pay thousands of dollars to do these surgeries, and my whole head was spinning from the moment I walk into it was like go go go, and I just like you're gonna send that communication. You're okay, okay, and I ran to the other place. Come to think of, I mean, I'm telling you, I cried.
hmm.
I was crying. At first, I was upset.
But
I'm like, what are you?
I said this right.
Right.
Crying the life of women
Yeah.
is a tools to stabilize the ladder, activities
Yeah.
when you are overwhelmed,
It
especially
was.
female. When female is overwhelmed, the only thing that stabilizes them is cry.
I agree. I agree.
And
I pride myself in saying like I don't cry. I'm not gonna cry. Like I passed that stage. But no, this was serious problem. Like I mean, the entire hospital system was looking for me. But the crazy thing is, because it's a politics things in hospital, everybody's trying to, corporate America. Somebody who saw me where I was, could I tell that person where I was and what was going on. but did not do it because they wanted me to scramble. But it's okay. God got me. It's okay. It's okay.
That's a it's a clear learning curve. I
It
tell
is,
you.
but I pray that doesn't happen to nobody to learn that way because I was on fire. Like,
So you
but
see the
yeah,
experience. That one of the reasons when they want to employ you somewhere, do you have this experience?
I'm
Oh
telling
my
you,
God.
that was scary. Whew.
I mean,
I
yeah.
almost lost my job.
Oh, no, that was great that God Himself intervened.
Yeah. But they were like,
Yeah.
no, you're really good at what you do. You're not going to lose your job. I'm like, please, anybody is disposable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what happened. But I'm here and,
Okay.
you know, alive and all is well, And, my boss was really in my corner too. She stood up for me and that was really helpful. So that was
Good.
something nice on one day for me, I guess I can say.
Yeah.
All right, so let me put the link. You guys asked for this new time. I am asking you guys to show up, or else we're gonna go back to our old time because we all drop everything to be here, to tend to everyone. So please share the show for us. Share the show, invite your friends. Tell them Miss Fee is on live at 3 p.m. every Saturday and Sunday until further notice. Unless I forget to communicate with you guys again.
Yeah. So I think it was Don who told me.
Yeah,
I said that yeah, that's a great one, but we just yeah.
yeah. I came home, I told my husband, he's like, how could you? He was like, you'll be all right. But we're here. So tonight we're talking, well, today or this afternoon, we're talking about family approval when it comes to relationship. I'm not sure if we talked about this here before, but I think we talk about different culture when it comes to relationship. And I think there's so many people when you look at today's society, so many people say, oh, I need my family to be part of this relationship to make sure they like you. But then we also see at the other spectrum, people are like, you know what, I'm just gonna make my own decision, whatever, you guys opinion don't matter. And I was just looking at the whole dynamic of that, like, does that speak value to why certain things happen to relationship these days? Are we, or on this show we always try to tie it to something biblical because that's our roots, we want to stick to it. What does the Bible say about that? Does family play a big impact into who you spend the rest of your life with? Because the Bible says you leave your parents, your family, and you leave to your own. So should that decision also be part of your family? That's what I want us to kind of look at it at from that standpoint. Like, do they need to approve? Not like saying no, but to a certain degree, does that is should there be some type of approval before a relationship go forward? Um, if not, are there circumstances that it should be considered? So that's the topic. Let's jump into it.
That's great. Yeah, we will look at we can look at it from the other side, um, the social aspect of it,
Right.
before getting to the biblical aspects. If other people, when we are diving deep into biblical stuff, it means you have to try and bring on board maybe a reverend or a
Right.
pastor, a man of God who understands most of those Bible or biblical terminology, even though everybody reads, for themselves or their own understanding.
Hmm.
We may not be exactly saying what the Bible, intend to interpret to family or couple. And
Right.
we can still speak to those things based on our own understanding. As to people who went to school and can know rationalize something. So yeah, so on a general note, I think relationship is a bond. It's something that connects one family to another family, and that is, in my view, um, if you build or you try to build a relationship, there are a couple of things that you take into consideration. First thing, nowadays people are blinded by what we call love, which of course is the pillow of a relationship, very key pillar of a relationship. You must have that love before you think about going to that relationship. Notwithstanding, uh, there are some things, if you are in a relationship with somebody, especially to live with that person, you need to consider. And you need to really go beyond that common feelings. If you want to build, like for example, if you want to build your relationship, your life partner, you need to consider some other thing, in my opinion. Know who is that person, what that person is like. And if you will go a little bit back, the history of that person, the background of that person, how that person, people relate to, issue, many other things. Don't get me wrong, love is there. You all look at love to be the common thing. But if you want to build your life with somebody, you will want to know maybe the family history of the person a little bit. In that, if you're considering that, it will be something that that person family will also have to play some role. This is why it is now in our society that if you, I mean, in our tradition, that before you get married to a lady, the parent got to go and show themselves to that woman, parents, and go into that agreement. And from my experience, when that agreement is being consummated, you both, the man and the woman that are going to that relationship, name cannot never be called. You will only be called to confirm that yes, I'm in love with this lady. But whatever thing like spending money, appreciating the parents of that female, it's going to be one of your uncles or your father who is going to show himself or to the people that he is taking their daughter into their family. So from that point alone, it signifies that approval needs to be done. That is the understanding that I have. If your parent will have the right to go and pay dowry, to go and show themselves to that woman, your love parent, it shows to me that there should be a point of approval. Notwithstanding, that approval should be done in love. It should not be because some people will have, because I am the uncle for you. If I not go, it will not happen. With no point of reasoning why you don't want me to marry to the lady that I love so much. So if that is it, then of course, God is not in your, I call it so-called purported approval. But if the approval is in love, that you know why you need to learn this, you need to understand this. Before we go, we do this, you gotta take a time. When it's done in love and understanding, then that approval is accepted to me. But when it's not done in a kind of a manner, I mean that approval is nowhere. So yes, approval need to be done from my social perspective. Approval should be done in love. And no, if the approval does not rationalize anything, then I don't need that approval. That's how I look at it for now. Maybe later on we can look at the biblical aspect of it. But on a social level, that's how I understand it from my side.
I agree. Yeah, definitely. Uh-oh, my network. I hear an echo. Is that for me?
I think so. Or maybe
Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, okay. Looks like it got fixed. I was hearing an echo from my end. I agree with you. So when you look at like everything that you said, right?
Yeah.
How do you know where you're going when you don't know where you came from, right? In a way. One thing I really admired about the Nigerian culture is that and I don't know about other culture, I guess because I pay attention to the Nigerians culture a lot. So, hey, River says Pro, how are you? Welcome to the show. So, I will say, oh, Anna is jumping on. So, something about welcome, Anna. Um,
Hi.
hey, how are you? This new time, right?
It's refreshing.
It is.
Housewives don't have time during the day for shows.
I know. Welcome. So tonight I said tonight, this afternoon, we're talking about, family approval for a relationship to move forward, right?
Mhm.
So basically what I was saying is like, how do you know where you're going before, if you don't know where you're coming from? And basically, I kind of lost my train of thought there. But it's very, I would say, I have a little note here, right? I think family approval is significant in a way because if you're coming from a collective culture where loyalty and family ties is important, and the other person don't know, that might be a situation that's going to not be great for the person coming from the opposite end. So it's definitely important for people to know like where the parents or what that culture is, and the parents also need to know that because there's this saying where it's like you don't just marry the man, you marry the whole family, or you don't just marry the woman, you become like one of their daughters or sons, vice versa. So, as I was saying, yeah, I remember what I was about to say. I admire the Nigerian culture for the most part, from what I've seen from the outside. A lot of them will not, move forward with the relationship until they have exhausted every option to make sure the family is part of that. Now, I don't know about the modern Nigerians, but looking at the old cultural ones, especially from a movie standpoint, not always, the family will not approve it and they'll say something, even though it's not the best excuse some of them have why they don't want that relationship to move forward. But I just like the fact that they will consider, where they're coming from, their family input on that to make sure that they get the proper guidance into whatever they're getting into. And I also think the family that's marrying into that family, that's vice versa, is also good for them because then they all know what they're getting into. So I definitely do agree that family approval is, I think, is important to a certain degree, like you said, Peterson. But should it be the ultimate decision? Because some people don't mean well. Some family member, just because they don't want you to, move forward in certain things, they're just gonna find all the excuses in the world. But I think it should be part of a determining factor when you're deciding to get married. And I think even if one person or whoever that claims to be the important is not approving, there should be a reason and all options should be exhausted to know, because once you get into it, it's when you're you can't just say I didn't know, right? That's just look funny. um did you want to add something?
Yeah. So the Anna, Anna is gone.
Yeah, she'll be back.
Okay, so yes, exactly like you said, but the point of it being ultimate decision making. That's where I said when the intention is right, then you have to fully go along. It has to be ultimate. But when the decision is not right, then you have to have some other second thought. What happened in those movies that we watch? Yes, it's portraying what people think of. Like for example, certain religion will ban their children from getting married to their other religion, and that religion will want to marry in that other religion, but they will not allow their children to marry to anybody from that side. These things happen, but the point there is sometimes it's right that if your mother tell you, say, you know what, that person you want to get married to, that family, I know them very well. We came up together. This is what happened. These are what can happen, and give you some historicity of what been happening in the first, second, third generation from that period you want to get married to. Then it create a ground that you think, is this life I want to go in, and after that period of time, something like this happen. Maybe let's take it for some for example, in the tradition, some people they don't stay with men for no reason. They don't stay with men. I don't care. You will lavish all the love you think about. After you get to a certain stage, you will definitely walk out of that relationship with no reason. And for example, your mother tell you, say, you know what, that man you want to marry to, their family don't keep women. And it been happening so. Name Peter. Peter did that to Mary, and they reached to the point. It happened this way. There are some Paul did it to this person and reached to the point. So my daughter, you gotta study that religion. I don't think that person will keep you. It will create that ground for which you're going to study that individual, whether that person is going to be different. Don't get me wrong, that no people don't change. No people change. But now it will create the grounds for which you, as a female, will test that individual to know whether that person is sincere. And like my late grandfather used to say, you see, trouble, it works with sound. When trouble comes in, it will tell you, it will give you all of the necessary sound that I'm coming. But at a certain point, you be lost. You will not identify that sound. And I wish when you find yourself in the middle, then you say, oh, if I knew. But you knew. You just choose to, to just not give attention to it. So that'll come a thing. Sometimes those approval or decision, it should be ultimate, and it should be a sufficient ground for which you got to consult. If you are Christian, you got to consult the Lord. You got to consult God. Got to pray about it and see if this relationship, what your mom is saying, is this true, or what your dad is saying, is it true that these people they just want to know about me, they're not going to stay with me? I mean, something like that. So again, I know my brother is here. He may be saying, no, because I think that you have no decision in my marriage, in my affair.
What's up, buddy? What's up? What's up? What's going on?
Yeah, guy, I'm okay. So I know my brother said maybe you're gonna say go straight to the opposite, but I think they have to say something that you listen to and go ahead
Right.
with. I don't say you love that woman, don't marry her. No, you gotta marry her, but make sure that you are right.
Right.
Wait,
Welcome to the show, River Says Pro.
yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Peterson. Thank you, Fee. Wait, why am I? Is it just me? My phone kind of low.
But we
Yeah,
are getting
I
you
don't know
here.
what's going on.
You know,
Yeah, I'm getting you.
we Basa people, we loud. We like to be all over the place. But
I
anyway,
thought Amano people laugh.
oh no, Basa people let it full of play. That's a great topic, and but I want to look at it from a biblical perspective, right?
Good.
So my thing is, I hope I'm not interpreting or kind of like misrepresenting scripture. But when it says the man will leave his mother and his father will cling onto his wife, so I don't know, because looking at mothers or fathers' approval, I don't know if that falls within that category as far as the Bible is concerned, as to whether you are. I mean, there are biblical instances where maybe the mother, like you look at Ruth and Naomi, and you look at other instances. But back in the Old Testament days, and during the war, when I went to Riverside County, they were still practicing it where these guys leave their town and go work in amount time for like 3 years for this one lady. And then after 3 years, the parents are satisfied with his work rate, how he made fun. So they are satisfied that he would take care of their daughter because, they monitor his activity. They know that he's strong. So those things exist. But when you look at it in Western concept, so this is what happened, my son, who he's not watching, but at one point, I took him to my job, and then he worked there for a while. Then he left, and we all were in that panic mode. We were worrying. Everybody at the job asking me. He left, and we went to the police. Me and my wife went to the police, and this is what the policeman said. And my wife was mad because we from Africa. So the first thing that came out of this policeman mouth, he said, "Oh, he's going to his girlfriend." Well, what are you talking about? Yeah, for real, Fee. I don't know how that guy. It was almost like it was prophetic. It came straight from his mouth. And my wife, like, what are you talking about? I'm talking about my son. I'm serious. The boy hasn't called. He's not that kind of person. The man said, "Look, I'm telling you." So, and then my wife, like, but I don't know about any girlfriend. You know what the policeman said? He said, "You don't have to know." He said, "My mother never knew about my girl." Oh, my wife went ballistic. So their culture is, and he was saying something honest. The police guy, he wasn't joking. He said,
And it was true.
yeah, he said, when I had my girlfriend, he said my wife did not give, my mother did not give approval. My mother didn't even know. My mother saw her, but it had nothing to do with her. We as African, we thought he was talking crazy, but that was his experience. That was the Western concept, the society he grew up in. So if this man was getting married, do you think he really waiting for approval for his mother? No, he is not. Neither his father. Maybe for respect sake, yeah, he would show them and say, "Oh man, this is Emilia or this is this person." But I don't think the extent at which or the extent to which we African kind of like exemplify these things, we African kind of yearn or really want this approval from our parents. I don't think, society wise, tradition wise, looking at it from a different concept, I don't think the people necessary. I don't think it's a necessity. I don't think it's necessary in this culture. So yeah, 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 Uma. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So you're basically looking at it as it is based on a culture wise.
yeah, I think it
Okay.
varies from culture to culture, from society to society. Okay, like the Arabs. The Arabs could be their culture could be similar to ours. Where the parents have to approve the daughters and other things. And I heard you talking about the Nigerian, maybe partly the Ghanaian. For them, yes, a lot of time we watch those movies and we see, and trust me, it's not just in a movie. I go to church with a lot of. I think I told you about my pastor. His
Yeah.
all his children. He got like 4 girls, and they all, they got older. They got men that are older. We were talking about the age gap yesterday. I wanted to bring it up, but it just slipped out of my mind. They got guys that were older, but these people, they know that all these children, their father know these people. They get the approval from their. Can you imagine, Fee? These children in the United States, they are Nigerian. That's how much they value that culture. Follow them. It's not prevalent in our Liberian society. But these
Right.
Nigerian, and the other girl, she graduated from Marquette University. That's our biggest university. I think she a psychology or something. That girl graduated, but she still listening to her father, and her father or these men, I mean, those are relationship of father, I mean, they gain approval from their father and their mother to carry on this relationship. So I think it varies from culture to culture. So I would say
Right.
in the Western culture, it's not necessary. It's not something that they really, really pay keen attention to. You know, a lot. I seen a lot of people ran away. Mama, you don't like me? Okay, I'm going. And then they leave. Oh yeah. I seen a lot of these children
It
run
does
away.
happen.
Yeah,
So
it
this is a
happens. So
question though.
I
Just
think it's
learn.
mostly a societal thing. That's what I think.
Okay. Yeah, Peterson.
So I want to bring this question out. I mean,
Uh-huh.
just like you said, River says 100% right. There is no doubt about that. Culture, I mean, the Western culture is completely different. But now, if you were advising on a general note,
Mhm.
what if a young man who may be listening to you to go for a relationship that he wants to live his life with, what would be your advice? Is it necessary? No, necessity and importance. There are two different things. It's
Right.
necessary, but it's not important. It's important, but it's not necessary.
Right.
So if we want to attach necessity and towards it being important, what could be our own like advice to the public or to the young person who may want to listen to us? I agree with you. It's not necessary in our Western culture. I mean,
Mhm.
in fact, your mother, you 18 years, you leaving, you get a right to leave.
Yep.
So how will she know who you want to get in contact with? How will your dad know who you want to get in contact with? So we're talking about necessity is not necessary. Is it important that if you want to live or settle down with somebody, it's important that you seek some advice from your parent? So that is where I am, and that was the main reason why we're making that kind of analysis. So I want to hear from you from that perspective.
I think as far look, you are I mean, you're absolutely right. I think it's important. So let's stress the word. Let's stress on the word important. It may not be a necessity, but I think it's important because it's like Peterson. We from Liberia. We from this tight community where
Right.
everybody knows everybody. Like when I was growing up, my childhood girl, she was right in a neighborhood. I knew all her brothers. I knew her father, every one of them, and they knew my whole family. It was just like a little tight place. Everybody knows
Also,
everybody.
mhm.
So back then, like we like, oh well, they already know each other. But when it comes to the Western, say if I had a son, yeah, I mean, yeah, I got sons. I mean, if that's why you see one thing I like about them, they always bring their when we having July 26th party, anything, they always bring their girlfriend there. One of them, the other one, he doesn't really, he's a shy person, but the other one, he always makes sure he brings the girl to the African party, and they sometimes go on YouTube and they cook like I think we had July 4th. He cooked with the girl, they brought cassava leaf rice. We like, oh, everybody like, wow, yeah. So she, he trying to build that even though she's an American, an African American, but he know that it is important. Yeah, I mean, he could decide not to bring her around. He
Yeah.
knows that it's not a necessity, but it's important. So he brings her to this occasion so that more and more people can see her and make her more, kind of like what the right word to use, kind of confidence, and build that relationship with a lot of people in the Liberian community. Not everybody, but at least people that are close to us. So yes, my advice to besides my children, besides my boy or my girl, and my advice is it is very important. It is crucial, Peterson, because this society is different. We want to know. I mean, we're not going to like my wife. My wife is so protective. Before we move in any neighborhood, she will go. She got this app that she will look up the crime rate. Try to
That's me. That's me right there.
exactly. You know, look, like we used to move in
There.
the apartments, you will see how many criminals live in the apartment and all those things. So she would be one of those person I would try to look up, look up maybe her son, or girlfriend, father, to know who they, make sure things like that. But yeah, it's not, I think Peterson, yeah, it is important. My advice is to the answer to your question, it is important, yes. It is important for us to know the family or the person you are getting in a relationship with. We want to know, so at least we can get a little hint of the family we're dealing with, so at least it don't, at the end of the day, we don't have that thing where I used to live at this one place where they had two family. When the people ready to fight Peterson, like just Africa, I'm
Okay.
talking about American people, the
Yeah,
other
of
people
course.
across the street. That was the last apartment. My wife said, enough of this apartment thing. That's why we got a house. It was like you see people got colors, they got knives.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, it was serious.
Oh yes.
Putting sword in
It
each other's
happened.
gas. Yes, that's the last time we said. And my wife said, I'm not gonna live because
Oh
what
my
happened was
goodness.
we had a van at that time, and the other lady had a van, and they didn't know the difference, so they went and put salt in our gas tank, taking our van to be the neighbor.
Oh
The
my
lady. Oh yeah,
God.
it was terrible. So I
Oh
mean,
my
yeah,
goodness.
so yeah, I think it's
That's a
important.
nightmare.
Oh yeah, it was. Unfortunately, may his soul rest in peace. The boy who always started the thing, he got killed. I think he was doing one of those drag race, those race car thing, and he lost his life. But I mean, he died. But yeah, it was one of those chaotic scene places that I
Oh my
live. So
goodness.
I mean, imagine a family like that. If you get your son or your daughter in such a family like that,
Yeah.
there will be room for concern because you don't know. So yeah.
Right. Thank
And
goodness. And
so
I have
I
an
can
app
take,
for you guys.
Yeah.
Really quick, I have
yeah.
an app. Check. There's an app called Your Neighbor Watch, and it's called Next Door.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay.
Oh, reality? Okay. Come
That's a good one.
It's
That's
called
a good
Next
one.
Door.
So these are the reason. I mean, I may not be absolutely right,
mm,
but these are contributing factors to the many divorce cases and the many uh, incompatibility and not compatible with you and XYZ.
Right.
People
Ooh,
go
everybody's
ahead
here
with
now.
it, and you find yourself doing child support, even something that you guys supposed to do, and just laugh with it, or maybe get dressed with each other for a few minutes, and then one of the person will say no. I mean, it's too much, and it cannot be settled. They are serious contributing factors on some of those things. I agree with you absolutely. You're right. Not necessarily like we said, but it's important so that you can live your life, especially young people who are looking up now to get married. It better you make a little research so that you can marry to somebody that you want to live with, not somebody you want to pass by.
but Fee, before our people come in, let me throw this question I asked Fee highlighted on the screen earlier. So Peterson, let's
Right.
look at the and our other people can join. Let's look at the difference between a blessing and approval. Like, okay, so I mean, how do we draw the line? Like, uh, will you rather get the blessing from your parents, like, okay, Peterson, yeah, God, I bless this marriage, or approval could be anybody, like, okay, yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, yeah, I agree, okay, you're cool. But
Can
how do we draw the line? Do you see
can
a
I
different,
respond?
or is it
I
just the
think
same thing but with different terminology?
Yeah,
I
I
can
think
speak to
Anna
that.
wants to come in there real quick.
I want to
Okay,
speak to
Anna,
that.
come in.
Hello,
Yeah.
Uh,
Anna. Are you
Yes, you
there?
are
yeah,
live.
yes, yeah,
We can't hear you. Uh
Can you
oh.
guys hear me?
yeah,
Yeah, we can
yeah,
hear you
just speak a
now.
little bit louder, Anna, just a little loud, please.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, we can hear you. Oh, now we cannot hear you.
Can you
Yeah.
guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can
Yeah, we
hear
can
you
hear you.
talking now. Oh no, she left.
Yeah, Fee, I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know if it's the network or what. Like, even me, I was just I didn't mess with my camera, but then my camera was off. It just came back on, so I don't know what's going on.
Who's the next person? Is that Don? Somebody
Yeah,
That's
that's
like
Andrew.
Andrew. But before you get on, Andrew came for you. He says, I'm always starting drama, you guys.
so
Andrew said,
I
I
want
saw you were doing community thing, yeah?
no, Andrew, don't bring out your argument here. No, I think he was trying to give example.
That man will not give you no example, Peterson.
You are giving example,
He said it too clearly that where he was, the place he was living, the place he had, knew the whole family, everybody knew when. So that community thing you are doing, my boy.
Yeah, my people.
Yeah, the community thing you are doing. So don't come to say.
I'll put you in trouble. I'm going to skip that one.
But okay,
Yeah,
it's good to be back here again today. It's wonderful. Yesterday we'll have a very, very, very interesting discussion. I don't know why, Peterson, you were not on yesterday. I don't know.
no, yesterday it's not a good time for me to be here at this hour.
No, it was
I
not this
know.
hour. Evening was 8 p.m. It was 8:39, which was I think
Okay.
6. It was 6 to you on our side. But anyway, Abi, it's good that you're here today, and it's a good day. A beautiful topic on a discussion. I should have joined ever since our oral meeting, online too as well. So he started 2. He said he was going to be in an hour, but then he went more than an hour. But why? Either what, the case, thank God I'm here. Hope to be
Thank God.
here on the end of the show. Okay, I think the topic on the discussion is very, very important. Whether the parents should have a stake in deciding. I'm just trying to paraphrase the topic in deciding the relationship of their children. Is partner family approval or necessary? For me, in a relationship, like the question being asked is on the floor by Pro, is what are the approval by parents or the blessing? But I think, given this condition now, or given the kind of society we find ourselves in, I think it's more important than before. You see, in time past, uh, parents were involved in getting relationship for their children. The boy father will go to the girl's parents, or the boy's parents will go to the girl's parents. It's still happening today, in a way, on the traditional side, to have that approval. So if you had a wedding, if you want to get married to a woman, and your or man and your family member, your father is not there, your mother is not there, then obviously they might give their approval, but probably they may not give their blessing to the work to it. So I think blessing and approval are two different things here in discussing the thing. That's a beautiful question being asked by Pro. But I think Pro was saying his wife, like, she was always be on an app going, from place to place, and then asking, knowing the crime rate. The reason why we parents have to be involved may not be in totality, but we have to be involved in a process because we want to protect our children. Like we say, I will revert to parenting. We are there to protect our children. We are there to discipline them. We are there to provide for them. We as parents, men. So for me, it's necessary that the parents give an approval, and a blessing will follow too as well. Because if you get married to a guy, you don't know their background, and you just brought him home, and at the end of the day, your parent found out that he's criminal, he's been convicted, or he just some kind of person in the society. You don't want to stereotype anybody in a way. But at the end of the day, that negative reflection will come back you as a parent. So more than in contemporary world, some parents want to know, hey, I'm see you going out with this guy, or see you going out with this with this girl. We want to know their background, you know. So not necessarily being rich. I don't want to put that word somebody want to be rich, but we want to know the character of that kind of person. So nowadays in our society, there are a lot of people, they get married or they get into a relationship, and you know their parents who know about it. So when you reach to a point now, they kind of fully get to know it now, it's very, very, very late. So for me, it's not issue of being African or being American or whatever, but I think to protect your child or your children, whether the woman, the girl, or the boy, I think it is necessary for the family, for the parent to be informed, to be aware, to give that approval, you know, on that. I mean, I will pause on that note in my intro, and then we can go further to discuss.
I want to come the other side.
Uh-huh.
This
Thank you for
question,
that.
yeah, this is a powerful one, and Dawn, from the point I was raising, is just exactly like you brought up. But if we were to find the difference or the differences between approval and blessing, I would want to carefully choose the position of a parent into that, or let's say separating the role of a parent, either approval or giving a blessing. When you look at the approval, it's a strong word. Approval is absolute. A blessing is commending. To me, what do I mean? If you need my approval to go ahead with your life, it means you're not going to do anything unless maybe you want to think the other way. It means step by step of your activities, I need to have say into that. The first thing is our children go out there and look around and see the girl they love or they like, and then approach the girl. Things will be happening before they reach to the stage of marriage or marital stage, before you parent will start to know about them. So that alone, there is no sense of approval right there. So sometimes a girl will go out there and met a man. Maybe that person is the worst person for family background that she's dealing with. She had no idea.
Yeah, let me just not holding you, but let me just come to a point there again. I mean, we almost before we say almost the same thing, but probably from a different angle. Now, you know, for me, you can't tell me the relationship you had before or your first relationship, whatever. You went directly to your parents first. I think normally what will happen is when we talk about parental approval, it will not be instant. What happens in the case is like, look, you saw the girl, you fall in love with that girl, and you'll be on the side. Both of you, remember, you'll be afraid to go to your parents, but you'll be comfortable. Once you're comfortable with each other, then you start. When you notice that the women will always, you know, be supported by their mothers. So the girl will confide in her mother, and then the mother will try to cajole the father, seeking approval in that process. But it will not be an instant thing that will just go straight there. Sometimes the only thing that brings approval is the parental approval come about when pregnancy even come about. But we're saying now, holding all those factors constant, in my own understanding of PU, is that, look, parents must give their approval. Then the blessing will follow. But if the parents do not give that approval, it says, okay, go ahead and get married, you know, to whosoever. Remember, we have to protect them anyway. But my point here is we're saying the same thing from a different angle, but it's not an instant thing that we just say, oh, my man, gotta get there. You already do high and seek like my man were in the community. He did all I did in the community. and finally, I probably didn't continue in that community until you find yourself somewhere else.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So you see, let me just land on that note, the way I was going. The point there is, I think more like approval in a sense. I think giving their blessing to their child for a relationship is more recommended to me. Approval is okay, you can approve, but to create that level of saying that I need to approve your marriage before you go on, the child and that particular union, they themselves will be having problem with it. all your idea, the best idea you want to infuse into your children's life will completely crumble when you mention and must approve before you get married. That alone. So you have to play with that relationship. Can you get the blessing of your parent before you go into that relationship? That child, you are saying, can your parent approve before that relationship go on? But on the other side, it's more alike, for me, it's more alike soft, it's more alike recommending, it's more alike friendly, and as compared to approval. That's why you said, what's the difference between approval by parent and blessing in union? That's where I want to make that clarity. Approval, for me, to your question, approval is much stronger. Is demanding, is not friendly. The word approval, that you want to approve your son relationship, your daughter relationship, is not friendly. It does not provide a dialogue. It does not provide that kind of a smooth learning point where your daughter or your son will come to share with you. But it's the best thing to tell your son or your daughter, you need to have your blessing of your parent as you go into that relationship. That is the same thing you're saying with approval. Because if I don't approve, I will not bless him. That's a clear thing. That's a clear idea.
So basically, it should go hand in hand, right?
It should be hand in hand, but approval should have beyond blessing. Because human being as a whole, for me, I study about, I do analysis. I'm an analyst. I can change, for change to take place, you must accept the change. And accepting the change, you should find yourself on the table of discussion before you accept that change. But if you are not on the table of discussion, if you have a beautiful change you bring in it, I will not accept it because I don't find myself in it. The same thing happens in our homes. You have your wife, you have your children, they want to do something. They want to feel the boss in their own thing to do. So when you want to play with that and have a say in it, bring them on the table. So bringing them on the table is like, that's where you talk about the approval and the word blessing. Can you have the blessing of your mom before you go to where you want, the party you want to go to? You are simply telling her, say, can you tell your mom to approve your going? Because if you say, can you go tell your mom to approve your going, before your daughter will get furious and she will feel that also a mom don't tell me anything, I will not do what I want to do. But if you put it the other way, she will find herself on the table of, moving happily with your mom and whatever. So that's the point I'm making. So the difference, there is no big difference there, but the one is friendly and is peaceful, and other one is power and authority.
Okay. Let me you know, and the question go to Fee too. I know Andrew stress a point. So okay, so we know sins and the punishment of sins was transferable during the Old Testament by virtue of Adam and Eve's sin. So the Bible said that women should go in pain before having a child, and it's still happening. And the serpent, the curse from the serpent that he shall bruise your heel, and you shall bruise his hair, is still happening. So, but we in Liberia, we say crime is not transferable. So with that said, I know Fee initially talk about the Nigerian family, where one family would say, look at the other family, say you can't marry into a poverty-stricken family, we're not going to lay up. So guys, I mean, should we? My question is should you hold your partner or your potential partner? Should you hold them responsible, or should you keep holding them hostage because of something their parents are involved in, or say the parent was felon, maybe they both mother and father, maybe they were bankrupt, or maybe they had a kind of like sketchy part, like a criminal part. But you like this man, it's the man that you like. But then, while you're into this relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, you start then your mother come and warn you, say, oh, look, Fee, that particular group, do you know those family over there? They are this and that.
They are in the community thing there.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you do, guys? Should you hold your partner responsible for? I mean, should you? Labrador crime is not transferable. That's what we say. That's why when the other people stealing, we don't want to link their crime to what their parents did or what their predecessors did. We just want to hold them responsible. So you hold your partner as guilty just because of their parent passed, or do you just move along and say, you know what, it is not, I don't care about your parent, it's not your parent I want, it's you. Let me give you the benefit of the doubt, unless it is genetic, where maybe your parents were criminal and it run through your blood and you're going to be another criminal. Should you hold him responsible for him or her responsible for her parents' actions or character?
So who want to go first? I think you want to go first.
I'm laughing, you guys. Andrew said the whole community thing, and it's making me laugh.
Yeah, don't
But
mind.
Andrew, just hold on.
but to answer your question, I don't think, how do I put it? I don't think you can hold somebody accountable for other people's action.
Mhm.
But also, I think people, America do this thing where it's like crime by association,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So if that is your family and this is what they're known for and that's what they're doing,
Mhm.
and I know you as an individual, I'm going to judge you based on you as an individual and not what your family do. But
Okay.
me knowing you is different from my family knowing you. That's why I think it's very crucial. Whoever is trying to introduce their partner should have already had that conversation with their family, and they know the degree of how you know that person you're about to stay with. Because what your family know is different from what you know, because you're on the inside. Maybe you've been privileged to know how that family life goes on, why they do certain things, and you're okay with it, right? But
Yeah.
your family on the other side haven't had that opportunity to really see them or to really understand. They just know the broad aspect of whatever it is they know about that family. And sometimes you know and I think on this show we talk about, being fully, like, full disclosure when you're with your partner, like just being open about it. But we all know as human beings, we always tend to keep something. There's something we will all take to the grave and nobody will know about it
Mhm.
until we get there. And then there's some tracing and somebody like, wow, I didn't know that's who you were.
Yeah.
But I feel like we can't quote unquote say it like I will hold you for what your family did, but then at the same time,
Yes, Cynthia.
you're responsible for making sure your family understand what you know about the family based on what it is you're trying to get into, and are you okay with it? And just to go to, and before anybody else answer, I want you guys to think about it. What if the family don't approve, right?
Mhm.
How does that relationship plays out? Like when you say yes, I'm going to, yeah, you guys don't approve. I respect what you say, but this is what I want and I'm going with it. On an average, how many would say those relationships that win, how does it end up? Like, what's the success rate of that?
You got. I know the people are coming quick. Just fast one
Yeah.
second. I think
Hmm.
to answer those questions when it's not in your shoe, we know. I think you got to look at inheritance too. I've seen
Can you hear
situations
me?
where a particular,
Yeah,
say for
I can
example,
hear you. I think StreamYard is having trouble. Oh my God.
oh, you can hear me?
I can hear you, but it has this echo. Do you want to mute and unmute yourself? Let's see really quick. All right, unmute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much better. I don't know
So,
what's going on with StreamYard.
so yeah. Before the other guys come in, I think you say how much the approval, on the sunset. You have to look at in terms of things like inheritance. I have seen people deny, rich people will deny, and we see it in these African movies and other things, and in reality, people will deny their child like inheritance. Say, if you marry for that family, forget it. You ain't getting a penny from me. And, so seriously, and even not just Africa, it happened here in the United States too. People got children name on their will, they got will there and other things. you go to marry instead of certain family, or maybe the grandfather, you know, she's on the will and he's going to leave his inheritance, and he found out that this guy she's going to get married to, the parent, you know, I mean, say, you know what, he can take that girl. I mean, people, you know, American people, they don't give a damn. They can tell that girl, if you don't leave that man, my property, all these things that's supposed to go to you, I know it will be squandered. You will not, with that man, there's no future. And you know, they deny that. So I think before you answer that question, you got to look at what's the benefits. There are people who actually get hurt by these decisions. Some people will say, I don't care. Yeah, but there are people who are they really rely on their parents' inheritance. They are like a genius for their parents, or maybe the father only grandchild that he loves, got everything he will need. So there's a lot at stake for a lot of people, not just ordinary people like, oh, well, you know what, now your business. They got people who really things. So that's why I gotta say, other people can come in and check in with
Somebody on? Is somebody on?
huh? No,
Yeah,
I
you okay?
I'm done.
Okay, so
Go ahead. Sorry, I was mute.
okay. Yeah, River says yeah, the point you raised is
Can you
valid.
guys?
Okay, Hannah, you come and you broke up.
Anna, are you okay?
Do you
Can
want
you
to
hear
come on?
us?
Yes, I hear you guys, but it seems like when I'm talking, you guys can't hear me.
okay,
Okay,
Oh,
we
we
no,
can
can
hear
hear
you
you.
now.
let's hear
You
you.
want to go ahead? Can she go ahead?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Go
Okay,
ahead,
so
Anna.
I was trying to respond to the approval thing. I think it's necessary for when you're trying to get married to get your family's approval, but it's not. And I don't want to say it's a must, but I think that is necessary in the sense that family is something that holds people together, right? Like, if it's not every marriage that is made of bed of roses. So if there's bad times in your marriage and you need help, your family will be there to support you. But if you never got their approval initially, and they may not be there for you when you need them the most. So I think that it's important. It's um it's very needed, but if you don't have family or you don't have people to approve of your relationship, you can still go ahead and get married, but it's important to include your family in your decision making. So in this case, the parents, like you were asking, right?
Yes.
Right.
Now, another thing that I wanted to mention is about the question you asked about whether or not, if your family doesn't approve and you go ahead and get married, do those relationships last? Majority of the time, it doesn't. But it does not mean that you can still not get married and have a successful relationship with your spouse if your family is not involved. It's just more difficult. You don't have that support if you really need it. That's my take on it.
Thank you for that.
Okay, so River said your question. I think I was a little bit engaged a little bit, but the approval aspect, what you talk about, I didn't get that your point clear. I was something.
Yeah. Well, I said that if you gonna hold your partner responsible for something that, yeah, because we say crime is not
Good.
transferable.
That's it.
So
That's thank you for that
yeah.
gist. Okay. Let's say this. Let's be clear about it. Holding partner responsible or not, that is not the point we're looking up to here. For me, if I were advise anybody, it's not a point. The point here is what life you want to live, what you want to find yourself. That's the point you're making decision between. You're making decision between the point of which you want to find yourself in the next 10, 15, 20 years. Do you want to be overshadowed with that love or lust and find yourself where you want to be? Or do you want to make a decision and truly see that this person has changed? Don't get me wrong, like I said, it's true that people can change. People can change. what your father did, you cannot do the same thing. Maybe you can do it more than your father, or you can change. So there are two things you get out of parental background: either the best way, or the good side, or the negative. So it left with you who come into that relationship to make your decision. Howbeit, the best thing you can do is know the facts about this family, and then know what is happening there. The fact is that boy you want to get in their life, their parents have been armed robber. They've been in armed robberies, they've been like that. That's the fact. You need to know about that. The second thing, I truly love him, or I truly love her. No matter what it is, we will live with it. These two facts, if you get that and go into that relationship, when it appears tomorrow, you're not going to hold anybody responsible for anything. So we are saying that your parents should give their blessing to your relationship. If, for example, if you were saying something, or you yourself were saying, it said, some people will say, if you marry to that particular family, you are not part of my inheritance. Yep. You know why people say that? People say that because you and myself now, for example, you are suffering to get your family to a certain level. And old age is waiting for you. God bless you, you get successful at a certain level, and then your daughter want to get in the family, or your son wants to get in the family, that will come and just one day crush everything over. What do you think as an old man will be your decision? I suffer for what I have. I know that family you go into, they are like this, they are like that. If you bring that person here, the entire thing I have here is going to go one day. Since you said no, right now, if you get that, you gotta come up with your own thing. The one I have, you're not going to be part of it, so that you will not have that decision to get it one day in the dungeon. So I mean, those people who say that they are right, other way they are right, because that's the same right.
But Peterson, let me put it in your shoes. So will you be willing, man? Let's say you the papa only child, man, all the things you need and everything, and you bring this one girl, the papa tell you, Peterson, you know what? I don't want this. You either, Peterson, are you willing to lose everything? And I'm talking about, I ain't just talking about sing horse or mad horse. I'm talking.
I'm saying a point. Look, this is sad. Look at it. Like I said, right?
Stuff that will make you, without prestige in your neighborhood, in your community, everything. Are you willing to give it up, Peterson?
No, this is what I'm saying, bro. I'm not agreeing with that aspect of me giving it out. But what I'm agreeing with is, in as much as my father will look in my face and tell me, say, Peterson, I've lived enough to guide you as my son. You want to go to Mary. I know Mary parents what they are capable of doing. You love her, be ready to start with her from scratch. The point I have, if you go in that relationship, the point I have, what I have, it will be for your other brother and sister. It's not for you. If they help you, that's okay. But you're not going to get authority on it. It left the same right I have not to listen to my parents' advice. The same right you have not to share with me if I disobey you. So I agree that I will not disobey my father, or I agree that my son should not disobey me. Equally so, I respect his right. That is why my advice to anybody now would be, as much as you are willing to do whatever you want to do, start working on your own. The point of being 18, build yourself up. Don't depend on your father's property. Don't depend on your father's property, because your father's property is not for you alone. It's for you and your brother, your sister. If you are the only son, you get other siblings, or maybe your other people. You may decide one day you can build on it to be strong or stronger, but it's not yours that you think, say, if my father said this, I will say no, but I want his property. The father may give it to orphanage. He may give it to charity. What will you do? A pastor will happy.
Yep.
If you are man enough to tell your pastor, I'm man now, I got to live for my own, I got to do. Why you think your father doesn't have the right to say, okay, you can go on your own, but you have no stake in my activities? So yes, approval will come. Everything is boiled down to approval. The parent, like Anna said, your parent can have is good, necessary. It's not. It's not. It's not. For me, I look at it to be important. It's very, very important that you listen to your parent, so that you can guide your son. Because no parent will want to see their child going the other way. They will want them to succeed. So it's better you listen to them. But I mean, it's not necessary to me to say that if you don't do this, I will not live. So
Right.
it's important, yeah, but it's not so much of that. I could choose to be part of his riches, and I could choose not to be. So these are the 50-50 chances.
So as we try to kind of like, wrap up, so I hear you guys talk a lot about some of the disadvantage of your parents not approving. I mean, it's kind of hard, especially if you kind of like already build that relationship with your partner, which I think when you're dating someone and before you get to that level, you should probably start bringing them around your family just to kind of like see the dynamic between them, to see who knows them and who doesn't know them. There was a topic I was actually going to talk about, but then I switched it to this one. Maybe bring, if you are somebody who has a lot of brothers or sisters, vice versa, it's good to bring them around to see who's dated her before, or who's dated them
That is
before.
very true.
I
That
mean,
is very, very, very true. Or they know something about that person
right.
you don't know about. Mhm.
Right. It's good to start bringing them around family function so you can kind of like just observe. And that's why I said I really appreciate the American culture because, like, during holidays, I remember when I was in school, you hear family like, oh, I'm going to Thanksgiving. I'm taking my girlfriend to my family for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. Oh, she's coming. Because then you really kind of like start to see if they're able to build that bond, or if your mom or dad is making that effort to get to know who they are, and then you start to decide if it's going to that level, if you start to see that problem and you're someone who doesn't approve, without you can't go further without your parents approval, then you can gradually peel back that layers to just make it work, and then you guys can leave. I remember I dated this guy in college. I don't know if I said that was on here, and his parent was like, you went all the way to Liberia to get a Liberian girl. I mean, we weren't seriously dating. He just invited me to his house, for the family function. And I went there, and the mom was absolutely not for it. She was like, she's not from our culture, and she did not hold back, that woman. And I felt so bad. I was like, I'm leaving. I'm not welcome here.
Yeah,
But
don't worry for my brother. It's like getting fair.
but but but
You
but
know
but,
the
but
story already.
see, I got a problem with the brothers and sister joining in, because this is my thing. I don't know about other people, but my boys, they are very protective of their sister. Like they are, yeah. I don't know, for some reason, anybody that come around a sister, they always, boys, they almost like, man, we know what we can, we know what we say, we know. So yeah, when they see like young guy, my older son, he everybody come around the house. I don't know. He never friendly with them because he's as suspicious. He probably think about himself, like some of the things he does. So I think we're having boys approval.
Yeah,
I
but
think
if a
that's
guy
another
Moses,
thing to better thing.
if you are not saying the truth,
eventually he's
this
going
is.
to realize that the
Eh?
person is a nice
No,
I
person
no.
said,
and
if you
a
are
good
not
person.
saying the truth, this is the real one. Yet.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
true.
what you see, bro, it is true. The boys, or let's say men in general, are always protective of their sisters or so, or their daughters. That one
Right.
is an obvious truth. There's no if and end about it. Like the typical example you give me about your son. I was not in the community anyway. But it is true. The boys, you will always see them.
Yeah.
And you the gentleman, you going around a sister, if they don't approve you, my brother, it will come to a time you get a fist fight.
Yep.
They will beat you.
They will
Yo,
beat you, they will chase you out.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you see, the boys will all be protective of their sisters. So that one, like what they follow. Like for me, now I'm very much protective of my daughter. I am very, even from where I sit, every night and then I talk to her when she myself talking, and she just make no mistake. Things that are not supposed to do the way. The warning I can give her. So for we men, that is in our genetics. It is there. For us, we are protective of our sisters and our daughters. So what you're saying, Pro, that one, and not anything you saying that one, it is true anywhere else. My sisters, even my own sisters, I'm protective of them. I don't like for men to take even advantage of them. You marry them, you want to take advantage of them. That one they married to whom, but I will still caution you too.
Yep.
She married to you, she's not your slave. I
Yep.
will still tell you, in as much she's your wife. Why more you not married to her? Forget it.
I hope you can't do bad into other people's sister.
Yep.
And that's why I'm so careful. For me, I don't know. Even my own daughter for me to beat her in her. For me,
Yes.
I don't like to treat women. I mean, that's something for me. I don't like to do it. It's something like in our family, so they take her, they say, oh, they put stupid. My big brother, you know, he told a lady, you know, with a lady, blah blah blah, made manage her phones and all everything. When he walked from the marriage, he having all kind of things to say about him. Now she don't want to leave the house. I think if you know the story, she don't want to leave the house. She says she will be in the house. The man said, okay, man level there and move. But he said the house, they will not divide it. He killed all other property. She refused. She don't want to go there. She want a particular property they in. So these are things. So men will be doing those things. They'll say, oh, the man is stupid. He don't know, but he are all protective of the people and the kind of things. So we don't normally do that. But men, boys, like you see, Pro, not true. And I support you in that one there. And when they're doing it, don't get very well. They because like you, they're trying to do this. Our partner, yeah, we would pay.
Yep.
My son, I always tell my sister, and he, you know, something he did the last time. His sister, she wasn't going out. She was just in the yard, and she wore something, you know, a little bit shorter in the yard. You get what my son did? He told his big sister, his other sister. He said, "You're not getting us out." But the guy said, "We're not going anywhere." And yeah, right in it, he said, "You're not leaving the room. If you not take away, I will lie you up." And he lie her up.
Yep.
The younger one doing that to the sister.
Yeah.
They call me at yeah, something. I say, hey, what about it? I say, okay, I'm like, but I'm not there. He the part there now, you know. Oh, that what you want to be a son? And then he bothered and say, yeah, daddy, I tell her the truth, I allow her up. So they all will be protected. They don't want for anybody to mess with us.
It remind me of a fee know when recently when my I told her when my son my little daughter let me bring my voice down small. She this one kid just from high school.
Good for you, daddy.
Yeah, he just walked right in my house and said, oh, I came because I like your daughter. I said, what the? We from Africa, Peterson, yeah, man, I was confused. I had to call Fee. Seriously.
So what the hell going on here?
I said, ask Fee because the following action, I said, what? I was angry because I never really, it's not a society that I grew up for, to be bold to just come. So I said, look, the first thing I think I said, I'm not ready to go. I'm not ready to. So later on, when I talked with Fee, then later on, I became moderate. And then it went on this school thing. He bought me this. He just gave my daughter, they went on like a school trip somewhere. They, where to go to find your colleges. I think like a college thing, yeah.
Like a field trip? Yeah.
Yeah, they and the teacher. So he brought me this big old cologne. I think about 200, 150 or 200 cologne. Try to bribe me. I said, yeah, I know that. It's a nice cologne. I was still.
You guys want approval, and they're coming for approval. You know what?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Looking for the approval, but because I'm from Africa, but man, I ain't used to no child walking up to me talking about a leg. I said, what?
But that's a good thing. That's a good thing because then you can control where that relationship goes.
Right,
you can start to then nurture it, and he will have that fear for you. So I'm glad you talked to him.
Oh yeah, he's a nice boy. He go on the base right now on the marine base. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I mean, he nice, for the nice family. So I'm finding out about him. They talking. He called my
See,
daughter. So I'm more like relaxed now of the kind of person he is. Very
Yeah.
respectful. Come to the house, attend our programs and other things. So initially,
See?
that's why I say thank you, Steve, because if
that
it
was
wasn't for you,
so great of
man, I
him.
already ready that. No, that bastard spirit with me, bastard spirit with me. I
Say
want
like
to
Judas
kill you.
story.
I know. Men are always
That's so
protective
great.
over their kids. Oh my
That was
goodness.
to be frank,
Yeah.
that
So,
was so respectful of him.
Yeah. That's
If
how
you
you know
see
he was
anybody,
raised in a home. That's how you know he
right,
was raised in a home.
right,
And, to be really honest, and I think if I told you, your daughter is the one who made him come to talk to you because
yeah.
exactly.
he
That's
has
just
that
it.
respect for you. So that was
Okay.
really, really important to her. And if he really liked her, I'm pretty sure he was scared to come. And he
Yep.
grew that, that confidence to say, I really like her. I'm gonna go talk to the dad.
Yeah,
And
Yep.
that's really admirable.
I told my daughter,
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever age you are, until you reach that school you're going to,
You what?
that school you're going to, you reach when you
Mhm.
want to reach. When you
Jump up,
graduate from there, you want to bring somebody to me to show me that one. I will not stop you. For now,
You can't do that.
Good
You can't do
job.
that.
you get way.
Andrew, I don't know about the Canadian society, but it's I mean it's hard, man. You can't look. I had that same mindset, but then I just had to because the next thing
No.
is start
No,
going behind your
my
back.
point here, what I'm saying,
Uh-huh.
I'm not saying you cannot stop her from doing it. But my point here is
Right.
you should not get you should get a fixed goal, fixed mind. You should not get a divided mind. You can't get a divided mind.
Oh.
No, man, we're talking about Africa. When you're talking about USA,
Oh,
USA,
okay.
the children are
Okay.
working.
In Africa.
I beg you, yeah. I'm still talking
So,
about doing
He's
everything for
saying
you.
Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I
I'm
want
let
to
me
say
protected.
this.
We parents, we are protected
Yeah,
our
they don't disturb sleep again. When they
Oh,
just
okay.
get smarted and they just they turn around.
I think she was
I
talking to
want
someone else.
I want to say this.
most of the time.
Uh-huh.
Most of the I can't stop you from doing what you want to do. But just be careful because it comes with consequences.
Really.
So
But we'll
again,
talk about that topic on here. I think we'll have that. I'm gonna try to see how I can phrase that topic.
sure. But I think approve your daughter is she's exceptional, to be frank.
Right.
To allow to see somebody walking to you and saying that, I especially the community we are in the Western community, it's a plus for you, to be frank,
Yeah.
because they could choose to be doing that behind the door.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do anything about it. But to walk to you, only few guys will do that.
I can
And
imagine
any guy that will come to you and say
person
that thing,
going up
that
that
person has certain character that you must thank God for.
Yeah.
Anybody who will come straight to the parents and speak to them, that person mean well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it mean well. In many cases, even in our setting, any man that walk to the family to say this to that family, that person mean well. So protecting our children, for me, I'm not so much protective of them, but what I do is I'm more educated. In fact, when their mom want to say something, I say, you know what? When last have you sat with your children, tell them, say, this is the way life goes.
Right.
No matter what is the case, you will have no control over it. And in fact, when you start to be so much protective of them, when they slide away and get into it, you're going to cry. You're
Yep.
going to be bad because everything that will come in their mind is, if my dad knows, he's going to do this to me. If my mom knows, they're going to do this to me. So it better they don't know. Thinking that you don't know, but you know.
but Peterson, for me,
Mm-hmm.
speaking of protecting of them, in
Mm-hmm.
my view, is in no way stopping them from doing what they want to do or that they will do. We protecting them is My own honest definition of protecting them is giving them guiding counseling.
That
Showing
is what
them
I want to hear.
this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. Don't do this. Don't do this. That is in my mind protective, but not physical protection. Are you? Don't do that one. Don't come there, you men. Don't come there. No. Because if you do that, they're going to go astray.
Right.
At the end of the day, what you expect of them will not yield to fruition.
Yeah.
That's my own understanding about the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the best one. That's seriously, that's the best way. Best way is, in fact, the best way is tell them the consequences of their decision. What's the right side? What is the best? You see the children, they are quick to understand, especially the modern children. They go into school, they are reading, they are studying, teachers stand before them to tell them something. They are quick to capture something by you taking your time to tell them what is the consequences. They want to know why you say they should not do certain things. They are not interested in your interest of them not to do it. They want to do it, but you're saying that it's not good. Why it is not good?
Good, yeah.
Basically, that's the one they want to hear. So you want to talk to them. You want to talk to them. It should not be about don't do it. It should be about at the stage you are. This is what can be done. And when this happens, these are the consequences.
Right.
They will be moving in a positive direction to know that if I go this route, I should know that my dad told me if I do this, this will happen. And I should know my mom said this. You see why your daughter did? Your daughter knows that this person is an army man.
Interested.
Yes, he's interested. He's going somewhere. He's doing something. So the best thing is when people know the men groups. So all that when was happening, you were not around there. That was happening behind the scenes. So there is something that we should be more like educating our children and letting them to know the good side of the decision they want to take, the bad side of the decision they want to take. It left with them to take the bad side or to take the good side. And I tell you this, no human being, whether you say the children didn't get sense, no human being will choose the wrong side.
Right. So let me I know we already discussed all the obvious and we got a few more minutes, but let me go back to Mrs. Fee. So Fee, let's look at the unknown. I mean, we already discussed the obvious, which is maybe the boy, the girl parents got criminal past, other things. So when that lady I told you, I want to get into your head right now, Fee. So when that lady told her son, say, look, you went all the way like right now. I mean, what comes to your mind? Because it's not obvious. There's nothing criminal about you. There's nothing, I don't assume there's anything criminal about your parents. But she asked that person, how did you feel as that person feel? Like, did you feel like, were you thinking about prejudice or racism? And don't think black people can be racist against each other. You know what I mean? Racism.
They can be.
I mean, what came to your mind? Like, did you look at yourself and like, what's the problem with Liberia? What's the problem? What came to your mind at that time when she told her son that thing?
So this young man, he and I, we were just in the same class, and I thought he was nice. He told me he liked me, but I was like, man, I'm focused on school right now, I'm not caring for that. But we were also friends. So at this point, I think I was almost about to graduate. So in my mind, I already had my whole life planned. I think I told you guys on here. So I was keeping my options open. Well, when I went there and I heard that, and knowing the background of where he's from and how they typically, like, I try to educate myself on where he's from. I knew other friends who are from the same areas, and they've already prepared me for this. They've already told me, they typically don't marry outside of their culture. But he seems to like you. And he and I had a conversation where I was like, what would your parents think about me? Before I can tell you I'm going to date you, I need to understand, like, how does this work? Well, how do you make your decision about a life partner? But I think in his mind, he was just trying to date. But where my mindset was, I wasn't just dating. I was dating to like have a serious relationship if I'm possibly dating you. So I think he was not prepared for that based on my questions that I was asking. But he
Uh,
had already invited me to his parents, Thanksgiving party. So I was like, okay, I'll come. And when I got there, from the facial expression when she said hi, you could really tell, like, okay, hi, first thing, oh, she's pretty. Okay, she's smart. She's okay. You guys just seems cool. She seems quiet and nice. And then when we got deep into the conversation, was like, "Where are you from?" And I said Liberia, and you could see her. You could see her
I
entire
hope
face,
that
like
lady had a picture, a video of your Civil War where you were doing all those terrible things that thing scared the devil out of the woman, Peterson.
That's all I'm saying. I said, she just said, she's like, "You're from Liberia?" I said, "Yes." And she's like, "Okay." And then she
Huh.
called herself. She's like, "Why Liberia?" At
Wow.
the dinner table, and my face just went like, He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Why Liberia? Of all places, we prefer you to get people from our culture."
Hmm.
She doesn't know anything from our culture. And
Okay.
I said, "Okay." I said, "That's fair." But then she kept going on, so I just like, you know what? I'm just gonna excuse myself and go home. And I never talked to him again. But I think we kind of like crossed paths once. I saw him somewhere. Like I've said to you guys on here, I never used to waste my time. If I talk to you and I know it's not going anywhere, I block your number. That's how I
Oh,
used
the
to
one
act.
that says
Like,
got a whole family now.
yeah.
Hey,
So then he was like, trying to understand that, but at that moment, I will tell you, I felt rejected. I felt like you don't even know me. You don't know where I'm coming from. You're not giving me a chance to get to know who I am. And then I don't think it was appropriate to do that in front of me, because if I was a parent, I wouldn't do that in front of the person that my son is bringing to my home. I just think maybe people do things differently, but I think that would have been a conversation for the mom and the son to have, or maybe he didn't prepare his parents, meeting me. That's why I think it's really good for parents to, have that open communication with their children, so they're able to talk to them before they're bringing someone home that they feel comfortable enough, and not just saying, okay, I'll just bring this girl for, dinner to my parents' house for Thanksgiving. Vice versa, you should have that open communication where you talk about it, and then they're prepared, and then it can save somebody a heartache. Even though he and I really didn't date for a long time, it was like a week we were talking, and then Thanksgiving was around there, and it's like, "Oh, you're not doing anything for Thanksgiving? You can come with me. You can come to my family. We're having Thanksgiving." And like, if he had prepared his family and say, "I met this young lady. I think I like her. We're just talking, but she's from Liberia," and he could really get that conversation going and understand where it was going, then I probably wouldn't have been so embarrassed. But I was really, really embarrassed, and I felt like, wow, your family, that gave me a different perspective about your family, especially if I was someone who was really invested in this relationship, and their son was invested in it. He would have lost me too, as much as I would have lost him. Maybe we were both building something strong, and they don't know that, and did that. You don't know what that. If I were, I felt like, wow, me coming from Liberia, that's a curse.
but Will, but the thing is, to the two guys, I mean, do you think it was a surprise just went wrong? Because, but Fee, I don't think. Do you think he really had to sit his parents? I mean, we all got situation where we want to surprise, get this fine girl. You want to surprise her parent. Do you think it was necessary for him to tell his mom, "Oh, I'm bringing somebody for things"? Maybe it was just a surprise. I don't know why you think Peterson, like, he wanted to surprise his parents, and then things went wrong. That's how I see it. Though I don't know if he had told his parents, maybe you wouldn't have even stepped foot in our place. So, and then who knows? Maybe you're gonna get in too deep, and then later on you find out that the parents.
Right.
So maybe it was just I don't know. I think it's a surprise. went wrong or went bad, but then it was, I mean, it kind of advantaged you though. I don't know what the other people think. That's why.
Yeah, this is the other, disadvantage or the challenge of family approval of your relationship.
Right.
This is a serious disadvantage about that. You don't even know I'm sorry to say that. You don't even know who you are dealing with.
Right.
You don't know the person that your son is bringing. You can provide a little time to hear from that person. Because if you, as a parent, if you truly intend to get the best for your son or your daughter, the first thing you do, give audience and listen to that partner that is coming on board.
Yep.
From conversation, if you are somebody that is very keen to know who is this person, you will understand exactly who that person is. If the person will be the best person, you will understand from the person speaking, and after a few movements, you will know that the person, if at all, the person parent may not be the good people, but the person in an individual stage, she has some other, or he has some other character.
Yep.
So you didn't do that, and you just strictly want to be straight. It's not being straight. For me, I would tend to be being rude. I mean, you can't do that to any other family or any other individual. If you push anybody, a person can push back. So if you say that, and if this young lady says some other thing about your culture, then what do you think? So I think the boy was doing his best. He was trying to surprise his parent, and I think that was so honorable about him.
Yep.
To do that surprise.
Yep.
Now, any man might want to do. Even your daughter might want to do that.
Yep.
Okay, and it should be our advice to any parent that you need to give chance to your children. If you telling them, say, look, I don't want you to be on the wrong side. You yourself be cautioning yourself to say, look, you know what? I have to support them on the other side. So that boy did very well. He did his best, but the family proved that they had problem. It's not that boy.
Yep.
Seriously, they proved they had problem.
Yep.
Because you just saw somebody start speaking directly to the person, even if not the person, you start speaking directly to the person, country of origin. You think they don't get better people in Liberia? You think that everybody in Liberia just some about rude and uncontrollable people? No. You have decent people in the country.
Yep.
Decent people.
For me, I like you said,
that's how I see it.
I don't think, but I think she cleverly, found her way out. She didn't want to face that kind of unnecessary embarrassment because from what was even said alone, because I will always like to use the word is stereotyping people, because you saw her and she's from this country, she's not from your side, and you trying to put her into a category like, oh, she doesn't belong in this place. And look, I tell you what, I think this one, I think was some community thing with me too, but this one was in SI, and we were young children, you coming up between the ages 14, 15, we're just messing up, acting like we somebody, but we're nothing. But going around, a girl, two of us, we saw each other, and then our own school question team. I was like, smart in high school, 15 years, 14, 15 years old in high school, in SR. My big brother had gone to Ghana to join the other family member. So we left, in SI, with his girlfriend then, and we were like, fanning around, and then his girlfriend then, what she did was that, because when we were living with him in Banga, with my other younger sister called Alice, we were with him in Banga, and during the war, we all fled. We went to Banga with him, and where you get grace of blade to cut your hair from? Who's gonna cut your hair? So we came and we appear like people, they are country children, they are bush children. So she just had that thing in your mind that we are bush children, we country children, that country, And so we in exile, she went, met her other friends and over there. Oh, yeah, my husband, say husband, my husband brother there. That's just a country children. He brought brother, he be a brother there. He gone Ghana, and just saying all kind of thing. This girl, she and myself, we were like dating or whatever you call it. And then I don't know what carried me to. I mean, I went to her house, something like that. Not even I didn't go to the house because we used to do hide and seek. So I like went on the road, standing before her house, just a few meters away from her house. And her mom used to sell roasted fish on the road. The woman was coming and just saw two or something. I don't know. Look, the way that woman talked to me. Hey, don't be my daughter. You country man. Why you coming to be my daughter? I said I could let daughter sir to open one more go. They were not easy. She started to move. I didn't talk. I didn't say anything. I like what? So later on, when I left, the next day, I mean, she came to my house. I said, I don't want to see you. Go to your man. You think you're married to me? Then I explained it to one of my friends who were closer to them. And I told him, my friend Clarence told me, he said, look, man, just leave that thing. Just leave it play it out. So I never used to bother her. When she come to me, to my house, I give her a cold shoulder. Do I see her coming, I would take the back and go for my business. But fast forward, well, she and myself, we were like young children and we managed to something again. And then they didn't know because they felt I was not even going to school. They didn't even know I was graduating from high school that particular day. So coming from high school, my gown on me, my high school gown on me. I'm telling you, what I'm telling you is around 26, 25, 26 years back. When I graduated from high school, young. And this stepfather saw me in my gown and like, who's it? She went on the program too. She followed me, walk me. They saw two on the road. Who's it? Andrew, mommy, you graduated today? Yeah, from which school? SDA. He said, kaka. He hugged me. I think he gave me 1,000 CFA franc. He said, congratulations. He went to the house and told the woman, the boy you were underestimating, you think he said he was not going to school, not doing nothing. The boy just graduated from high school today. That you know when that woman came down on me, she called me after a week or two. She called me, oh, sorry for what happened. I misunderstood you.
And she made you lost the woman. You now married the woman.
Why? I didn't what?
Yeah, I want to know the last thing that happened.
So the woman you have way back when you're a small bottom, you marry her?
Oh no, no, to be frank with you.
Left her different.
My childhood girlfriend is the woman I married today. Don't let me tell you.
No, me I didn't marry her because
so don't go down.
Marry her because I mean she chose another path. And
thank you. I like that. Y'all need my brother. He chose another path.
No. I can't. No. Real says.
Yeah.
Did you
agree
agree
with me? Man. The man let the community slay out of your hand. The man let the community.
If I go in detail, what happened and we didn't marry each other. No.
Mama, the woman pressure on you right away. You see that?
My sister is not watching you. My sister is not watching. Be careful now.
You should have granted before going to the woman house. Why you need?
Hey, what? Hey, Anna, you still there?
Anna. My sister is not watching.
Anna, you go here.
Anna's there. Okay, guys, let's try to close out.
I'm here.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I got a question. I got a last question for you, Anna. I got a last question. Will you be willing, if you were the only daughter of your parents with inheritance, let me come out there, will you be willing to give it up if they did not approve your relationship, said you got everything onto your name and everything they're going to give you?
If he's rich, I won't give it up.
Huh?
I do.
If he's rich, I'll not give it up.
If he's rich?
I knew her answer.
Anna says if he's rich, okay, what's about you? Maybe
no man is worth me giving my father's inheritance.
Okay.
Oh well, I thought you were supposed to go
she has question. I need to ask my question.
For better and for worse. I don't know.
Anna, I want to ask my question. Anna,
Yeah.
why if you were the rich person and this man is in love with you and you are in love with, will you say, then
My
the man
dear,
has an option?
love is not enough. Money,
Oh
money is
my God.
everything.
It's true. I agree. I agree with that. Love is not enough. What can
Yeah,
you do?
yeah, my people.
Wow.
Love is not enough.
Man cannot live by bread alone.
Yeah,
Exactly.
oh, yeah. All right, guys.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think we get close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
let's get our closing statement. So the
Okay.
consensus is necessary, but I guess um
But
try to
not
understand.
demanding.
Right, right. It's
Yeah.
necessary but not demanding. And
Yeah.
try to communicate well, I guess.
Yep.
You guys want to give your closing or that's the consensus?
I just want to close.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like we discussed today, for me, I always say, what is a take home? From my side, the take home is allow your parent, get some advice from your parents when you are wanting to get married to anybody. That way, that is very important because you don't know what your parent have seen, and you just come in this world. And to parent, uh, be like friendly and to make a change in the life of anybody, the person must see themselves on the table of that decision. You should not be demanding. You should not feel that you get the riches, you get everything, and you just demand your children to adhere to whatever you say to be the father. In as much as you are the father, you are the mother, you need to open a dialogue to discuss with them, keep them as your partners, and come on the floor, ask them for your blessing. Don't ask them for your controlling approval before they move with their life. Ask them that you need to guard them. Ask them for their guardians as their father, as their parent. So that will be very good if you do that to your children. You're not going to have problem with them, and they will not have problem with you. But if you come with your commanding spirit, trust me, you're going to have it tough with them. They will not allow you. Nobody want to allow anybody to dominate their life. But they want to share with their friends. They want to share with partners. And that is the platform I want you to create for them. Thank you so much for the show. It was a really, really rewarding one, and the fun and all there. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Who's going next?
Yeah, I just agree with. I mean, that my consensus. I mean, agree with things Peterson said, and I think for me, it's important, but it's not a necessity, but it's very important for a lot of reasons. For your own safety, security, and yeah, general well-being. Yeah, but it should not be it should not be an obstacle. It should not, unless, and I use the word unless, there's something you know unknown, something really dangerous. But
Right.
otherwise, yes, approval is important, but it's not a necessity. Thank you for the show.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
everybody.
Thank you. Anna, you want to give your closing? Anna is,
Yeah. Sorry. I'm
it's
here with the
okay.
kids that I muted myself. Yeah, I think everything that I could have said, everyone has said it. I think that it's always very important for people to get approval from their parents or their someone important in their life before they marry someone, because again, you always want to do your background check before you marry someone. It's marriage is a big commitment, and you don't want to jump into it and then a month or two or a year later you're getting out. So it's always important to get to know the person. Also, try to get approval. When you marry, you don't only marry that person, you marry family. So having that family approval is very important, because that's the only way your relationship will be healthy and also could survive longer.
Right.
So
All right.
Thank
thank
you.
you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, it was a beautiful show. It's nice to be here always. We That's a beautiful topic we discussed, and everybody have said everything. I can't say more than that. But just a little one caveat I want is a caveat or something I want to add there to young ones coming up, whether a boy or girl. When you want to seek an instant approval from your parents, start to water the garden, start to water the ground. You know, start it in a way that if you the boy, confide in your father. You the mother, like the women will always confide in their mothers. Try to confide in them because your father he was there before. Your mother was there before. Try to confide in them. Look, you know, you take it out to them in a very mature way that it will be able to understand where you are driving on. But don't just do it one out of the blue moon. They have not seen you with anybody before, and all of a sudden, they didn't even hear, boy. Don't have mama, papa, I don't want my marry or mama, papa, I didn't mean one marry me. And you step in, you think you're so proud about it. Like everyone else said, it is important, even though it's not necessary, but it's very, very much important that we do those things so that our marriages or our relationships can be blessed. And on that note, I want to say thank you to everyone who joined the show today. And I'm looking forward for another beautiful show on the weekend. Have a blessed night, and we're here and we continue to be here. Thank you for joining.
Thank you guys. Thank you everybody. I think everybody says it all. Um, I can't really stress, but to say start when you start dating, start talking to your parents, like everybody says. It makes things easier for you and everybody else. And you know, forever is a long time for it to just be both of you, and you can't go to any family function. Those are necessary. Family functions is definitely important because you want your kids to grow up with their cousins and things like that. And if you don't have that hatred will just always be there. So it's better, even if they don't approve, to just kind of understand why they don't approve, and then see how you guys can work your ways around that, and everybody can be comfortable. With that being said, thank you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, the comments, our commenter, people that share. Even if you haven't shared, this is our new time. We're working with it to see how it goes. It was really great tonight. This afternoon, I said tonight, guys. But thank you guys, and I look forward to us all seeing each other again over the weekend. Until then, I see you guys. I'm going to get ready for tomorrow. All right. Thank you all. Have a
Thank you
great
so
day.
much. Have a great one.
You too.
Bye bye.
Yep. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
All right. Bye, River Says Pro. Bye, everybody. See ya.